Hello. Um, it's me again. I'm back to actually finish working on the Meta and Magic, the core fighting mechanic. It's been 2 days from the last time I work in this, and I do intend to fix a few things that I did wrong the first time, and I also want to implement the fight calculation. I think the calculate score function. So yeah, let's do that now. First of all, just do some formatting fix. I like the code to always be a bit tidy. Here is the thing that's annoying me. Uh, yeah, so that's better. Okay. Um, let's just start with the calculate score functionality. So the white paper is quite extensive when they actually say how the fight works, and you can likely find all the information there. But the first thing I'll do, I will define another interface here. Interface, which I'm gonna call Meta and Magic like. This interface is just so I can interact with both contracts, the heroes and the items, like in a singular fashion. And I want to get, when I have two functions, which is get stats, takes an ID. This function does not exist yet because the token contracts are not yet done, but I'm defining the interface as is, and afterwards I'll just like conform to whatever it actually gets built. So external in return. So one thing that I actually got wrong, that I'll just fix it, is that my stats struct is actually wrong, because you have like health points, you have magic, but you also have attack. I'm gonna call it DK. So it's three number values and 4 booleans that I'm using a single U and A to actually use it. So that's what this function needs to return. Get stats. Yeah. And similarly, what happens with the items is that each item has a few attributes, and each attribute in itself has some stats. So it's kind of a double mapping of. So I'm gonna get stats for attribute, which returns the same thing. Okay, so the first, where is it? Calculation. Okay, these functions can both be pure. Okay, calculate fight score. I'm gonna actually move this up here. Oh geez. Okay. The first thing I actually will need to do is, we do have, like, this is the boss stats. I'm gonna use just boss stats, hero ID, memory items. So the first thing I actually want to get is the hero attributes. We also need another unit 16 for hero magic. Then you need a uint 8 for hero mods modifiers. will be equal to perfect. This will get our first sort of items, and then here's how I'm gonna calculate it. Basically, what happens is that it's two different calculations, one for attack and one for damage, but I want to do everything into a single sweep. So this is how I'm planning to do. I'm not sure if these will actually work out according to the Python script I received, but I figure out that later. So the idea is that this is for the items on the inventory, right? So this is like an array of items. So for each item, the first thing I need is to actually take the item attributes. So I'm gonna need another for loop here. I'm gonna call it J. This is will also be actually I'm not sure how many attributes this an item has. I think it's 7. Okay, so instead of just like hard coding a double loop, that's a good question. Ideally, okay, so I'll assume that can have like a function that you return that will return all the attributes of a given item. So that's what I'll do here. That's gonna be items I. That's gonna be actually if we're gonna do items address, and this will return a uint6 of 7 memory. Then I need another for loop. So for this is gonna be J. This is gonna be x not length. Perfect. So now I go through each item, but here's the deal. I actually need to do a greater calculation because I want actually sum all of the items attribute, like all of the items attribute in stats into a single variable, so I can calculate who wins and who loses. So the first thing it's gonna be attack, physical damage. It's gonna be magic damage. These both need to be outside of these. And I also think I need HP. Yeah. So what do we need here? That the physical damage will be increased by, okay, the first thing we actually need is get the same thing here, which is the stats for a given attribute. So I'm gonna use that again. I could be more efficient here. I'm just trying to actually build the functionality and then optimize it as best as I can. Okay, this is gonna be an attribute. Now, so the total HP will be increased. I'm not gonna change those names. So this is gonna be item HP. Okay, this is another interesting thing. So I remember I said the other day that I was using 4 booleans, but I decided to pack them together into a single instance. Now I actually need a helper function to transform a boolean, this number, into an actual true or false value. But what I want is actually a uint, and I'll explain why in a minute. So get, and this is gonna be so what this function will do is just like if you give one of these items modifiers and add request for a given index being like 0, 1, 2, or 3, it will return the value either as a 0, as a 1. I could have as a boolean, but I want as a uint8. So how to calculate these is return is source, and this is gonna be 1 by index. This is a bitwise operation. I'm using return uint8. I actually need to cast it. This bitwise operation, but the basic idea is that I'm using a bit mask to get the value of the specific bit in this instance, and I get either a 0 for false or a 1 for true. And the thing I actually need to establish, and I'll put a comment right here, is the order of each boolean. So I'm gonna use attack penetration, attack resistance, magic penetration, and magic resistance. So I kind of need to know in which index each of those are. So getting back to this calculation, now I need to sum. This is physical damage. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. Sometimes it's used as attack, a physical just attack, but it's the same variable. So this would be physical damage. It's gonna be increased by the item attack, multiplied by the item mod. Actually, get uint item mod, and I just forgot which index is the attack. Penetration is 1, is 0 actually. So attack 0, and actually I don't want this just a multiplier. I want these. So what is the deal with it? So if the boolean on the index 0 is true, then this will be 2 to the power of 1, which is 2. So we want to multiply that by, we want to double that value. Otherwise, if it's 0, then we're gonna do like 2 to the power of 0, which is 1. So that's how we translate to the actual attack, and that's gonna be the same thing. The magic damage, it's gonna be item magic times 2 to get you went, I think item mod, but now it's index 2 because I'm looking for the magic penetration, and this is those are actually for attack. I also need to calculate the HP, which will be let me just correctly ident this. This is, I think HP also needs to be a defense HP, magic and attack physical. So I'm gonna put because the boss which are we fighting against also have modifiers. So let me just explain these. Like the boss also has like attack and magic modifiers, so we need to account that for the actual health, because both parties, the player and the bosses, attack into 2 different instances, which is the physical and the magic, and then like you get a total sum of that value to have. This is gonna be 1. I'm gonna just make it tidy. This is gonna be exactly the same thing, but now we are using index 3. This is gonna be actually magic. Perfect. So now we have a total value of these sums. So if I'm correct, I think yeah, so the player health, which is let me think how I do that. I need to actually also account for the boss's modifiers, so I'm gonna do that here. Oh, that reminds me, actually here this equation just have a bug that I need to fix right now, which is let me just finish writing these. So this is boss attack. This is gonna be also yeah, boss attack, it's fine. It's gonna be boss attack times 2 to the power of and it's boss stats and dot mod, and attack is 0, boss okay, this is actually boss stats, boss stats dot attack, and in the same equation for magic, which I'm gonna call boss magic this is now it's gonna be index 2. No, yeah, 2. So by default, Solidity, when we are doing like expressions like this, it casts to the smallest uint. In that case, it's a uint 8, because that's what we've been using. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cast everything to 256, which is fine because like casting upwards is it's simple and you can do implicitly. And here we get a 200 int 256, which is enough, which actually we are calculating to 16 again, but I'm gonna also use 256 here, and I'm also gonna use 256 here, even though the interface returns 16, it will be fine. It will just cast for us to a larger value, so we have more room to actually do these calculations without it reverting. Yeah, so I think that's it. So the main fight mechanics, so the player health would be, I need to find the boss attack and boss magic, which is those values, and if so the boss attack plus boss magic is greater than the hero HP. This means this is fine, but I just like to have like very explicit. This means that the boss killed hero. And I guess the other scenario, I'm gonna use an else if. No, there's no way. The other way around is if the player lived. So this is like a return 0, because the player hasn't won. I'm gonna use the shorthand syntax here. So now that we actually know that the player has a health remaining, we need to calculate if the player if player physical damage plus the magic damage is greater than the boss stats dot HP. This means like player killed boss. Right. Let me think. So we return. The score is the same equation here. I might just minus. So what I think it's currently described in the white paper is that only the attack is returned as a score, but we could also include the left in this calculation, the amount of hero HP left. So we can, I'm actually gonna do that, and later we figure out if that will stay or that will end. So this is one thing, plus we know this is boss attack plus boss magic. And that should be our fight score. Why haven't, oh, I need to actually sum those. Okay, let me just do here. it's equal to hero attack. I'm gonna replace these variables to attack. I didn't do here. Very good. Plus hero magic plus, oh, I actually need to apply the modifiers also. Hero attack, hero magic plus magic damage. So this will be the same equation as here. And also this will be the same equation as here. There is a parenthesis missing. So hero attack. This is here. This is correct. Yes. Yeah, so this is, how am I calling it? No, not, oh, okay, changing the attack damage. So this is attack damage. This is, okay, I need, oh Jesus, attack HP. So total attack is that, correct. So we also need to sum the total HP. Which is, I'm not sure now if this also applies globally. So if a hero has a modifier, applies only to the magic HP or applies to both HPs, but I'll assume it just applies to the HP. So this is going to be the exact same calculation. Instead of hero attack, it's going to be attack HP. No. Hero HP. That's gonna be attack HP. Oh, that's wrong. That's attack damage. Damage. Yes. Hero HP plus attack HP plus magic HP. Right, so that's the total HP. How am I calling it? Oh, it's a capital H. Perfect. So this calculation is actually for the total HP. And this is the total attack. This is the score is gonna be total attack minus boss health. Right, I think that's it. Oh yeah, this should be hero mod on both of those equations. Hero mod, yes. I'm just tidying up because I want to look. Yeah, don't hold me for that, like the exact implementation, because I think it might change. I'll just double check with the other guys on the team if these calculations are supposed to be this way, but I think this is kind of close to what we actually want. So okay, that was one thing I actually wanted to do. There's another things I need to tidy it up, so this is a to-do that I did not do, which will be just need to push inventory the items index. This is gonna be actually we just need items, and this is push. Items address. How is it called? Push. Oh, I need to actually send to a number, which would be in dot on. Right. Okay, there is another change I need to do. So these we are calculating boss drops regardless if the player wants or not, but the issue is that we might actually want these to be optional, so you can win a fight, because when you win a fight you need to burn your items, which I'm not considering here, and I would need to, but we just want that to be optional. And after you win a fight, so these this equation I'm gonna move to another function. Like we always take the hero ID, and now we also want to take the boss. So my parameters are kind of a mess. Here I put underline, here I do not, and it's not for any reason. It's just because when I'm typing out, sometimes I put, sometimes I do not, and I'll usually tidy that up later. One of the last things I do, just to make sure everything is correct. So this is the same jazz as here. It needs to be a pass boss, and we also require that what is that we actually need to require. Okay, I have a fight here, and I need to require fh.enter to be true. Otherwise you could be claiming for a fight you do not enter. And I'm also gonna include here. Okay, now we get to another point. So initially I decided to not save the score on a storage variable because we could calculate on the fly, but at this point I think this is complex enough, and there's a few external calls which are more or less costly enough, and we also likely have enough space in the fight structure to save the score. So I'm actually gonna replace the end variable here to a score, and also the reason why is because the start is the end is the start plus the score, so we don't need to save the end, we can just replace that, and that will work for us the same way. So I'm just gonna use that to actually in the function boss drop, so it needs to be fh.score. Score needs to be greater than 0, and Likely we also need another boolean flag if you have claimed or not. So I'm gonna just use, this is not a good pattern, right? Then the variable names are awful. I'm gonna put a b. We could do the same thing with those one as we did here, put in a single uint8, but I'll check what I can do. Like at the moment I don't really want to do that. So right, we are at the boss drop. So we also need to require fh dot is false. So we're gonna save the same thing again. This is gonna be, it's not current boss, this will be boss, and this will be dot be claimed equals to true. And now I need to actually do these. I'm gonna fix all the compiler issues in a minute. Gonna need to do this. Which is actually transferring the items. And yeah, we do not have these information here, so I'm gonna just put I still haven't defined how these actual calculation will work, so I use that for now and then just put a to do. Okay, perfect. So I got the score calculation done. I got the optional drop done. I did push to the inventory. Now there's another thing that's annoying me. I want to fix it. So right, when we were doing this chain link thing yesterday, I resorted to a solution. Have a mapping of request to boss and boss to request. So when it gets to here, I know exactly which boss does it belong, so I can save the winning index in the correct space. But now that I think about, I don't actually want to do that, and the reason for that is that at max we have 10 bosses. So what we can do is make index equal to current boss, then index needs to be larger or equal than 0. Actually, I'm not gonna have a boss at index 0, and we're gonna increase that. And if the requests by index equals to this, then that is true. So instead of saving to storage variable, like two variables, I just like go all the bosses I know and check if the request ID I got from Chainlink is what we actually need, and we save these. So that needs to actually delete this mapping, which is always good. I'm gonna fix that in a moment. I'm also gonna delete this mapping. These will need another false variable. What does it complaining now? Boss to request Yeah, I don't need the information. It's gonna be index. This is gonna be index. Oh, this +1 also reminds me that in the equation we also need to add a +1 to the score, so I'm just gonna do it now. And okay, that fixes the annoying thing from Chainlink. Needed. Okay. Okay, we don't have that anymore, so this, it's going to be score. Oh, I'm calculating actually here. Oh, that's interesting. I did the calculation thinking that this score would be just an attack, but this is wrong. So I need to change that, so to score is greater than 0, because I've already arrived at a value. If it's greater than 0, then the player won. So that's fine. The score is the amount of tickets, so I don't actually need to do that. They start, current boss, and actually this is gonna be the score is equal to score, and this is also equal to score. So now I fixed. Yeah, I need to actually cast it down to 64. And likely the same thing here. Oh no, it's fine. Okay, so that's done. There's another compiler error. Okay, and so this is gonna be fs start not plus score. And yeah, that's it. Right, let me just take a sip of water and I'll think what we'll do next. Beautiful. I do want to do a small optimization on these storage slots. So the first thing I actually do, I'll make into a smaller unit, because I don't like big a lot of lines. I usually prefer the code to be more compact. So this is also okay, so let me think about these structs. We have 10 bytes here. We have is that 8 bytes? So that's 18 plus 18 plus 12 plus that's sorry. There's actually 32 plus 64. Oh, that's 16. That's 8 plus 8 plus 10. So that's 16, 26. Okay, so we are way below the actual limit. This I think we are not. So I also wanted to consolidate these 4 values actually. Not request we cannot do anything because this is a full size storage variable, but either the winning index, the higher score in the raffle entries can be smaller units, and I also want to remove that from, so I'm thinking and to actually do a price separate, because Uint64 might be too small variable, so I'm just gonna create a struct called price, which takes an address. Actually I won't do that, with a struct. I do that. Let me think. That's a kind of a tricky one. Okay, I'll consolidate those three in anyway. I do think we need highest score can be a smaller value. Can fit into a 164, and those two fit in uint 128, and that's because I don't really know like how many players can enter. I know it's like 3,000, so I know how tight will be for these variables to fit in a smaller uint. So I'm just being cautious here, and putting days on the largest number I can think of. So this is gonna be entries. This is gonna be index. So this is gonna be a single boss to raffle. This is gonna be raffles. Okay, I also make these tighter. Okay, that is the entry. So a bunch of compiler issues. So I'm gonna do raffles. Boss, and this is a raffle. This is gonna be ref the entries and raffles boss dot entries equals plus score, correct? And then we need here on the chain link stuff, we gonna do the same thing. I'm actually gonna just copy the code. Where is it? Here. So this is index. So this is gonna be raffle, not entries, because I copied that already, and this is going to be raffles index dot winning index. Oh, how did I call it? Winning index. Okay, winning index, perfect. The same thing here. It's gonna be raffles. Winning index, and I'm gonna actually use correct. Okay, now we have another compiler. Just a bunch of casting. Okay, now since that it compiles, which is good, so that's a little better. This still bothers me, so I'll just put here. So I actually move these into their own mapping. Which will be an address. And the same thing here. It's gonna be a unit 64, which is price value. So these both get out of this struct. We can use a larger value for that, but for now I also just add the highest score here as a unit. And I'm very optimistic that people will get very big scores. So this is the highest score, so I need to delete these. These should come up here with those, and be tied. This should be down here, and this. Okay, this is okay. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Yes. So. Now I just need to fix the compilation issue I just caused, which is current, but it's actually boss. If score is larger than boss dot highest score, then this will need to be bosses. Same thing here will be, I can just actually use boss.highscore with where do I use it? So it's gonna be here, highest score. I can delete those. And also here, so it's gonna be okay. I need to sit down. And okay, more compiler issues. Okay, so that's not gonna be, this is gonna be price token. Boss. This is gonna be prices or last prices. Last prices, I guess that's how I call it. Also boss. Price values. The same thing here. Yeah, Jesus. Price values. No, boss. This is gonna be price tokens for boss also. Yeah, let me check my little list. And yes, I think I did everything I wanted for this contract, so it's in a, I guess, in a okay state. I don't think it's near to be done, because I need to test all this functionality to make sure that it's doing what I expect to do, and also make sure it's doing what the white paper wants it to do also. So I'm gonna stop for now, but I don't think I'll record myself writing tests. I think that's kind of boring. And the core of this contract is already done. So yeah, guess that's it. I'll see you later.